Thanks for watching. Press the bell icon and subscribe for more videos.
Hi everybody, are we ready? Are we ready to blast? I brought a guest for you. In the chat, I want you to type globule if you're ready to blast with my friend. Okay, are you ready to blast with my? Or you can write I'm ready to blast with your friend. Cool. Hot globule. We got a couple globules coming. We gotta blast us, Dabby. We got another globule. We got Sacred Chopa. We got the globule. We got the globule. All right. All right. Let's watch all my shit crash and burn as I start.
Thanks for watching.
I'm not
Press the
here.
bell icon and
This is
subscribe for more videos.
trying to fix this for several minutes, but hey, anyway, I'm invisible to you right now. I suppose you don't have to see me. Cool. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Is that volume good? I'm a professional. I'm a professional here. Great. Yep. Can't see me. Let me try one last time to get this to work. I don't. Yeah. No. Not. Well, sometimes this happens and then it does work. You see this menu where I can build eyebrows or I can become a goblin. This is what typically happens to me when I have this flavor of technical difficulty. Not totally sure what I'm gonna do with that, but hey, I'm a menu. What if this was my costume for today? I'm a menu. Hi, I'm a menu for Beard and Brows Builder and a fucked up Green Goblin. Welcome to Hold Space for My Tribe, a stream Menu Tuesdays. Yeah. Welcome to Hold Space for My Tribe. Typically, we watch YouTube videos to examine how the New Age movement and health scams and other terrible things manifest on YouTube. Today, we're not doing that. We're going to be hanging out with a new friend to all of us. He hosts a show called Miracle Nutrition. You should check it out. We've been checking him out. This is Mr. Hearty White. Hearty, welcome.
Hey everyone.
You're on.
Oh, it's good to be on.
Isn't it good to be on? Wouldn't you rather be on than be off?
I would be. They used to criticize people. They'd say if they had big personalities, say, "Oh, that person, they're always on." What does that mean, right? They don't.
Yeah.
If they're off, it might mean they have some sort of odor. So and so is always a little off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get it.
I'd rather be on. Are you on? Yes.
Right. Please respond to Hearty when he asks you a question. All right.
Oh no,
Please don't be rude.
All rhetorical. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
There's
Okay,
always
gotcha.
the answer. Any question I ask, the correct answer is always, "Gosh, who knows?"
Okay. All right. I just feel bad. It's like I bring all my kids to have dinner with you. I want to make sure they behave.
Oh no, I don't care if they're jumping on the table or anything like that.
Okay. Okay.
Abraham Lincoln's children would come to his law office and they would jump on his law partner's desk and stomp on his papers and go, kick them off and spit and scream.
Yeah. I mean, spitting and screaming in the Oval Office is that's kind of what you're supposed to do, I think.
I thought that used to be the way.
Hey.
Different way. Now they're so uptight.
Right. Now this is my problem with government today. It's too uptight.
Things used to be more loosey-goosey. You could go into a government office nude with a gun or something.
Right.
No one even look at you twice.
Yeah. Now you go in there and they talk to you like you're a kid. They say, "Hey, do you like Beyonce?" You say yes. They say, "Hey, if you like it, then you shouldn't put your feet on it. Can you get your feet off the coffee table, please?"
They'll do that. They'll say, "Yeah, are you in show business?" And then they'll do that Richard Belzer joke.
Please.
What
Please
is
do.
it? No, he would say, it's not a very good. He would have somebody. I guess he said, "I don't put your feet on my stage. I don't put my dick in your drink," which was a lie. It's a lie because I think he did.
He did that?
They say people go hypocrite because I was in here earlier and I saw your dick in every drink.
Of course.
Richard Belzer, so-called. And aren't we all in show business? Is the audience so unimportant to you, Mr. Stand-up comedian, that you think, "Oh, I don't even need them. Don't bother coming to my show." No, they're the 100%.
Yeah.
I would rather be in a room that was all audience and no stand-up comedian.
I would too. I think Well,
These are in fact, the most rooms I'm in fit that description. I'm thinking about it.
that yeah. I would definitely rather be in a room um, with just about anybody than drink a Richard Belzer's Dick Old Fashioned. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's
That's a
not
heck
at the
of a
top of
date
my
too.
list. Yeah,
People like to go to comedy clubs on dates, and I always think, oh, that's a tell.
that's a tell. That's a dude. That's a risk, is what that is.
Right? Isn't that awful?
That's I mean, I feel, what's your success rate going to comedy shows with how you feel afterwards? I feel like mine is not so great. I think I'm at about 50-50.
I like to go to open mics and
Oh.
watch people up and coming.
You couldn't keep a straight face on that one, could you?
Well, no, it's not. It's transcendent. It doesn't. It goes beyond
Yeah.
comedy. It's meta.
Goes beyond coming or direction.
It's not. It's yeah. It's not like overtly funny,
Yeah.
but you could, but it's a thing. It's interesting to me. I like amateur anything, especially if it takes a great deal of skill to do, and someone with no skill is doing it. That's the contrast that I go for.
It is good. I do like a good open mic. I do like trying to think of an example of what you've said. I mean, it's sort of a to go to a dance class or something, that's kind of I feel like I've maybe been in that position to see someone doing something that could be graceful and beautiful and watch them, barely able to take the first step.
I think it would be exquisite to go to like a martial arts class, go to a martial arts school or class,
Yeah.
and then you realize in maybe the first 15 minutes that the instructor is a charlatan. They're unqualified, and their movements are clunky and impractical and fabricated.
Uh-huh.
And then it'd be beautiful to just keep coming back to see like how far will this
Yeah.
go, right? Can I be like second in command of this fake kung fu school eventually if I just keep
Right.
learning the bullshito? And it's so great. I like that. That's immersive
Yes.
comedy.
That is immersive comedy. Yeah, I feel like I had some substitute teachers growing up who were engaging us all in immersive comedy.
Right? You think I'm sure somebody's like I shit you not, Andy Kaufman was my substitute teacher.
Right.
When somebody's, because you can see that, I don't know if he was messing with us or it was real. I felt like that in a lot of situations, and I love that feeling. Oh, to
You
not
like,
know whether I'm being had.
Do you like being on the other end of that? You ever had a job you were wildly unqualified for?
It'd be easier to ask if I'd ever been qualified for a job.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't, and I feel no shame in getting a job I'm unqualified for. I 1,000% blame the Three Stooges because they instilled in me a sort of,
Yeah.
I think, Depression era hustle that says, like, if somebody is willing to hire you, if some posh idiot is willing to hire you to wallpaper their house,
Yes.
when you clearly have no qualifications, go for it. Charge as much as possible, because that's not my problem. It's not my problem I'm unqualified. That's the way I look for it. Like, that's you. You're supposed to vet me.
Right.
Like, I'm not, like, this isn't about self-deprecation. You're
Yeah.
hiring me, and there's a contract. If I say I'll do something, I'll
Uh-huh.
do it. The language might be that of the great deceiver, Satan.
Satan. Yeah.
Like, I did it. I did the letter of the contract.
Right.
It had to be. It didn't say it had to look good.
The devil in the very details, as it were.
I did. I don't have to lie about some things because they're absurd,
Yeah.
and I am unqualified. But I did websites in the early days of the internet, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh, I love that.
And I would just people would pay me money,
Yeah.
and then I'd like, man, I guess I got to figure something out.
Right.
And you just hit people up for info. I wasn't able to do this very long.
Uh-huh.
But that's the only thing I learned in life was like how to get hired. And I've never really got past like how to do the job daily.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I think it might be a thing. Like, if you can, and I don't want to, I'm not a confidence man or anything. I'm not trying to scam people. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think being overconfident is a mortal sin.
I don't think it is either. And this is a to I just bought Zoom Pro.
Oh, right.
So that we can keep talking.
I like it.
Look at me, yeah, Mister Big Bucks over here. Yeah, well, so
I'm going to get something out of the mini fridge. I didn't know you had all the money. Now I'm going to get one of these.
Help yourself.
Rooms.
Yeah, help yourself to a little bottle of gin, my friend.
All right.
And a Snickers bar.
$10 Snickers bar.
And it possibly, I mean, not an embarrassing admission here, but I had read an interview with you, and this is one thing that you brought up in the interview as well. You said, if someone wants to hire me to paint, I believe you said the roof of the Sistine Chapel, which I love.
Oh, dude.
You said
a lot of times I like there to be finish on a piece of art because the back is just as important.
It is. I like reversible art. Yeah.
If I get a painting, I would flip it over and I go, oh, ran out of time. Why didn't you didn't finish the back? You didn't paint the back.
You didn't. Why this part's blank? Why I'm not buying this.
I thought the ceiling's been done.
The ceiling has been done.
The roof. How will you know? Who's going to go up there and check? Your fat little monk. Not going to get up there on the ladder.
Send your smallest, fattest monk to check my work. I dare you.
Right.
Yeah, you were saying, you'll accept any gig, and it's and you'll do it to the best of your ability, and then it's out of your hands. If they're not happy with it, that's their thing.
Absolutely, because people do suffer from what's that syndrome where you think you don't? Is it Cinderella? One of the
like an imposter syndrome thing.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have aspired to be an imposter. Not an imposter, but not a charlatan. What's a milder form?
I know what you mean. It's what I'm doing here right now.
Well, performance art is a lot of that.
Yeah.
Some of it's obvious skill, but a lot of things that we're selling are feelings. And so that's like real nebulous.
Yes.
And it just, and in that arena, self-deprecation is it's a thing, it's a flavor, but it's not very useful, really. Like,
it's sort of a poisonous thing to pour yourself to drink at night. It really doesn't take you very far.
There's people who do it as a shtick.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's different.
Such a worthless loser, but they're not really, because they hustle and they're at you're seeing them a lot. For somebody who's a worthless loser, you have a lot of confidence.
You do there's a lot of promotion for you.
You can't be that depressed, can you?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, I can't get out of bed. Yeah, but you're doing this hectic tour.
Right. Yeah.
So you got to have some belief in yourself, and I think that seems to be, kind of phony anyway. So you might as well come at it from, I know I'm self-deceiving.
Yes,
and it's okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really great way to think about it, because confidence will take you far in life. I don't really care about going that far. I think I'm quite happy these days, but there's a certain amount of fear that I don't let in. And for me, it's because I've convinced myself that any outcome is okay.
Yeah.
But there is, I like what you're saying, where there is kind of your identity's made up, right? It's a set of learned habits and jokes and whatever your preference is. That's your identity. You make it up as you go along. It changes minute to minute. So if that's the case, you might as well take on a healthy identity that doesn't have that self-deprecation, that doubt that brings you down so often. Because at the end of the day, who cares if you're doing it, you're living it, then you are it as far as identity goes.
Yeah, nobody benefits from you beating yourself up over a stupid task.
Yeah.
I would never let somebody put me in charge of something where lives were at stake. I would say, we're hiring you as the chief pediatric surgeon. I'd be like, no. That really should be somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Right? But it's like, we're going to hire you to manage this International House of Pancakes. I would
Yeah.
say, sure.
Yeah, right. And then have
Mess
fun.
that up. Who cares? I
Yes.
don't care. It's stupid.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people's endeavors are dumb. Like, when you
Right.
ever get hired working for the state and you go, this is probably stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure some things are not, but I bet what we're doing is. I remember I
Absolutely.
got hired for something like that, and I got on the job, and I was like, "Oh man, these people are working a little. They're making me look bad because I like to pace myself.
Yeah.
I don't like to come in. I like to come in a little on the lazy side because if you come in,
Yeah.
they expect a certain. It's like I'm not knocking myself out over this dumbass job. I'm gonna just start, try to stay employed.
This is my
What they
attitude as
ask me
well.
to do.
Yeah.
Right? And I will get it done, but I'm not
Right.
going to kill myself. I only got this one life and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I'm doing you a favor by being here and lending my expertise. And so I would sometimes chide younger workers. I'm going, you're trying too hard. Like, take a break. And look at the older workers, because the older workers were out there, like the people that were the bosses were out there taking really long cigarette breaks.
Yeah.
I love that they got, had permission,
Oh, yeah.
like smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
oh my God, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I would
Right.
take really long lunches because of that. And I go, man, I'm not smoking. I'm just having an extra sandwich, which is better.
Yeah. Which is arguably much, much better for you.
Or walks. I'd go for a walk. I'd be like, I'm going for a walk. What we doing? It was great.
I would do that too. Yeah, the last job I had in an office, I was definitely going out for the long lunches. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I think that well, let's distill this for a second before we move on. What would you say is the difference between well, so what's honest then? If you're in these situations, do you think you're being dishonest if you're taking on a character, or if is it better if you announce that you're doing a bit, or is it dishonest to come in somewhere as a character, or are we all by that standard
I think
being
the
dishonest?
honesty is a compromise. I think a lot of people try to gauge their ethics on something that's factored that's outside.
Yeah.
They need to take into account what the moral toll would be on them, what their suffering would be. So, I got to take that into account too. So if something's going to harm me, why do I have to, in the name of what's right or good, like sacrifice my emotional or psychic well-being?
Yeah, peace of mind.
Peace of mind. And a lot of times it will come down to control. It's when someone petty wants more of you than they deserve.
Yeah.
And so it's okay to protect yourself. And I've also always am of the opinion that no one's entitled to my opinion.
I like this. I like this.
I don't owe you my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't owe you confession.
Right.
I don't owe you. I don't have to tell you what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And there's that sense, who are you? Tell me who you are. It's like, no.
This is privacy.
You'll see it. Yeah, you'll see it on cop ID things. Or like no, fuck off. I don't have to show you my ID or something. But
yeah.
people like on an interpersonal level do it too. Tell me about yourself. And I'm like, no, I don't know. No.
Interesting.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, I don't want to and work will do that. They'll do these we're going on a retreat.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna sit around and we're gonna do basic psychological manipulation on you by getting you to confess some shit that's anybody's business, especially not your coworkers. It doesn't make any.
I've been through this. Yeah.
And they make you because they want you to be sort of invested in this endeavor that doesn't benefit you.
Yeah.
And no one has ever compensated anything near what their actual time is worth, because that's like time on earth you don't get back.
There's no value you can put on it. Yeah.
So it's a compromise. So it's like I have ideals. People are obviously not going to adopt my worldview. Boo-hoo. I still have to survive.
Yeah.
But, they're going to have to play a little bit by my rules, which is, you don't get my soul.
Yes.
I won't be keeping that.
Right.
And I, everything else. And if you don't mind, don't feel the need ever to take credit for sabotage. Sabotage.
Expand on this for me.
Sabotage is putting your shoe in the machinery strategically
Yeah.
as a protest, as a worker.
Uh-huh.
So it comes from you take your wooden shoe off and you throw it in the cogs as a
Right.
way of saying, I, as a lowly worker, ultimately, have to be satisfied in this. And if I'm not, I have access to a cog and I have this shoe and the shoe's going in the cog.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember friends in the media back in the day doing this on just a regular basis with media in and out.
Oh yeah.
And you had to keep it honest by messing with it and showing its flaws. Otherwise, people start to believe what they read and all that kind of terrible.
I like this kind of. It's more authentic if you fuck it up, because you, as a worker of it, you're a part of it, and so you're making it more transparent by. I've done things like this. I'm a video editor by trade, and I've put some stuff in the corner of a video so small you couldn't see it, but it's like a picture of my friend's face or something in the in the background or something. I leave my mark on things here and there. But so we're talking about boundaries then. Do you think that is there a situation for you, and if so, could you talk about it, where you have no boundary? Is that, whether this is you said you're a married man, you said this to me in confidence. I hope I'm not blowing up your marital status here.
Okay, well, it could be untrue.
It could be.
The format we're in is unreliable.
If fully, yes.
And so who knows who the real person is? And I love how we mistake people's public persona.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's really close to who they are.
Yeah.
And they adjust it just a little for sanity's sake. But some people you'll see are absolutely on, even when it seems they're not on. They're just
right.
I always think that with Jack Black.
Yeah.
He's always phony.
He is.
He is. But in this way that's appropriate.
I love him. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, because he's on all the time, because it's a performance, and
right.
and when he's not ever faking, if he's faking sincerity, it's an act. He's an actor, and you're seeing him on the screen.
Yeah.
Nothing is real. Now, if you and I met in a store or something,
yeah,
that may come close. I'm not gonna do a bit.
Okay, sure.
Right, I'll just be who I am, and that's a different relationship. But like the relationship we have with strangers or an audience, it's great and it's wonderful and it can be sacred, but it's also like an illusion. Absolutely, completely.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I do that with this. I started off being very much a character, and then I found that I kind of couldn't keep it up every week, be a character for 2 hours or whatever. And so parts of me start to slip in. And then because the same people watch so often, and it's like I get to recognize their names in the chat, and then, and because I started this during the pandemic, this was a really good social outlet for me. But I've found that I couldn't keep up a character week after week after week.
You got to blend it.
It's become blended.
And it's like wrestling,
Yeah.
If you're going to sustain a character, it has to be a little bit you.
It's a better character if it is. Yeah, it's more believable.
I remember, so I'm a big, as we are here in Kentucky, a big Harry Dean Stanton fan.
Uh-huh.
And Harry Dean, I saw an interview with him one time, and he was talking about the acting advice that he had gotten very early on. And it was basically just be yourself and let the costume be the character. So he was like, if he was a cowboy, and he was in a lot of westerns when he was young.
Yeah.
You're just Harry Dean in cowboy land, in a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
You're Harry Dean, you're a prisoner. But he's still him. But he's him as a thing.
A lot of the best actors do that. Or I don't know best actors, but actors who get a lot of work. You know, I feel like
Yeah, certainly the ones that it comes easy to them because they're just being them.
right. There are many actors who are just them and everything. Jack Black, a great example. He really is just him in everything. Could you tell me about a time where there's been a shift in the character you play? Has it always been the I know you. I've seen you build as sort of a southern philosopher. Um, you're a monologist, obviously, right? But is there has that always sort of been your flavor?
I very long ago when I started, which was a really long time ago,
Yeah,
I was influenced by like Paul Harvey and people who did those kind of short AM
yeah,
um, kind of stuff, and I was really interested in that kind of like bombastic, opinionated, um, and I liked satire a lot. And so when I started out in radio, that's what I wanted to do is pretend to be like a blowhard character. And so I did that. I did that for a while. And then, you know, and if you put yourself fully into something as a person too, you start really wanting to go to the important places, or you want to really
mm,
start thinking about why you do things or what you're doing or what you're participating in,
mm,
and not like be self-satisfied. And so I just really like broke everything down and thought, am I doing any good for myself or anybody? Am I, you know, and am I making things worse? And
sure.
so I thought I was actually making things worse, that my sort of cynical, detached attitude was very easy, that
Yes,
I could avoid really hard questions, that I didn't have to be very brave to do that at all, because I could hide behind a sort of sarcastic kind of thing.
yes,
If I could be my most vulnerable self without being sappy, or just the being the way we really are, if we kind of reveal ourselves, but not in a desperate way, the way we do with people we've known a while or feel comfortable with.
yes,
And I thought then I could like acknowledge a bunch of stuff instead of trying to answer it. I could just say to somebody, hey, I know you're there. I know you're thinking these things. And I don't have to provide them with any solutions or sell them anything, or we don't have to be laughing at anybody or at ourselves even. I like to watch those old Johnny Carson Tonight shows. And a
mm,
lot of the comedians that came on back in the day did very self-deprecating things, but their material also included their ethnicity and identity. And so not only they were being self-deprecating, but they were deprecating their whole culture and race. And there's a name for that.
right, sure.
My anti-racist hat went flying off my head.
The hat is off.
It's like, I'm out of here. But it was disconcerting, because you're like, well, man, who are we laughing at?
Yes, yeah,
And so the power dynamic was all off. And
yes,
because I'm sort of like a contrarian, anti-authoritarian,
yeah,
not in a yucky way, I hope, but like I'm real skeptical of like in chargeness
yes,
and punishing people. So I bring that to anything I do. But I really did feel like I can be absolutely absurd in a way that is not threatening, but what's the word? Absurdity can be,
a bit subversive.
yeah, subversive, but I can also not be an asshole.
Yeah, yeah,
And because I like, you can be like maybe the real weirdness,
yeah.
isn't as, I still believe in destruction, but it's what you choose to destroy. I think
Ooh,
that needs to be thought about.
Fuck, everything you're saying is fucking beautiful. I have not related to someone so much in a very long time. I'm also very. I think cynicism is just is the fakest form of wisdom, and all it does is it separates you from other people. I think vulnerability is the most important thing when interacting with other people and in art, and it does take so much bravery. I think the reason why I love doing this, I get messages from people, and I feel like I'm making them less lonely because they can come here, and it's not, I'm not talking about their problems or their situations or anything like that, but it's loneliness is just everywhere now. I think because of it's so easy to be cynical because there's not really a bright outlook to have right now. And yeah, I'm very contrarian sometimes. I used to be much more so, but yeah.
We have scared people off of sincerity because, like, so they look, when somebody's really sappy or like modeling or something, I do roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, they're sincere. But listen, I can take it.
Yeah.
I'm tough.
Yeah.
It doesn't drive me to wishing that everybody who wants to do that would shut up. I don't mind tears, I don't mind a show of emotion, and but no one wants a steady diet of that, but I can tolerate it. And I know that in its absence, that's a bad thing. Everyone's afraid. And so that they do retreat. And that's a part of the loneliness is going, I'll be judged. I'm going to be mocked and everything like that. And it's like, oh, I mean, there's degrees of it doesn't annoy me that this outrage when people are, when their aesthetic sensibilities are violated, like, oh, that stupid hat. Yes. Oh, those people are wearing, their style. I just hate oh my God, really? Like someone's beard, the way someone's trimming their beard is like an affront to you.
I love this. I love this so much. Yeah, I mean, I lean into the modeling and the sort of the overshare and these things because I think it's so much closer to vulnerable and sincere than acting smarter than I am or acting like I have better taste than that or something. But I would love it actually if you would help me with something. The as I get older, I kind of do find myself having some of what you're talking about with like this kind of superficial judgment about how someone's cutting their beard or whatever. The form it takes for me, and I've sort of I've identified this long ago, and I wonder your feeling on this. But it's when I hear people integrating into their everyday vernacular things that I know they learned from social media, from Twitter, whatever. When that it kind of bothers me a little bit because it's like I know that you didn't get this from your friends, that you're kind of taking this shortcut. And I mean, that's just slang. That's how language evolves. And I know that I shouldn't resist it, but I wonder if you've ever had a similar thing or what your experience is with that. Do you embrace saying hashtag this or hashtag that? What's your relationship with that?
Well, I think it comes down to what you might call cringe, or what Freud called the narcissism of minor differences, or what my friend Bland calls sympathetic mortification. And that is just being confronted with your worst self-conscious fear in someone else. So you see someone and they're wearing like really dorky sandals and you go, oh God, that could be me. And
projection.
Rejection. And because maybe you don't know a subtle rule or something, and you feel like if I wear the thing I like, but sometimes it's intellectual. And like somebody will say something and you go, oh God, like I remember being 17 and thinking that.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and then you go like, well, what kind of patience, what would I want? So if I sat down with somebody, I was like, you know, you really must read Ayn Rand or something like that. What would
Yeah.
I want someone to say to me?
Okay.
You know, and I don't know. Sometimes you can engage, sometimes you can't. I do things that make me uncomfortable, like we said with slang or something. I'll use, like if someone says, "Oh, people use too many exclamation points when they correspond" or something, I'll use them
Yeah.
more to be like that's the least harmful kind of provocative you can be.
Right.
To just have someone examine something that's a peeve. Like maybe if we can take peeve off the table with like hate, maybe we can start getting peeve off of the out of the conversation and make people more tolerant of like that kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
I think like I would like to I think it can be traced to humor that started to attack like idiosyncrasies like that, where you know, like you know what I hate kind of comedians.
Yes.
And then you
Sure.
find yourself, you go like, oh shit. Like one of those I hate was like a thing I do, or
Mm.
and everybody's laughing. But I
Hmm.
like that band. There's
Right.
nothing more alienating than that. Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Is that music when somebody's an idiot for liking a certain type of music or something.
Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, I will. I do enjoy sometimes embarrassing myself in I'm at a restaurant or whatever, and maybe I say something dumb on purpose, and to the server. I like doing things like that. I like being in control of my mortification.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very mystical.
it
It
really is.
it really
You
is like
find out it's
very,
not so bad.
it's not. It is like something out of a kung fu movie or something. It's a sort of like exquisite drunkenness. It's a sort of embracing
Yeah.
your lack of control, and I'm
Yes.
okay with it. And that like informed the way I'm on the radio now because I remember seeing certain old people that were liberated from their self-consciousness, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I want that so badly. I really want to be able to say to a stranger, you know, how you doing today? And I remember there was a ticket taker at the
Yeah.
movies, like, oh, this is a crazy that Pee Wee Herman's a odd one. You have a great time, and that fearlessness, you know, and that friendliness. I wanted that so badly, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh, not yet. It's not, you know. You
Yeah.
do it at a certain age, and you look like a lunatic,
Right.
right? Like if you're a young person, you're how you doing? They think you're like
Pee Wee Herman's a weird one. Yeah.
right. So you've got to be older, like to get away with that, and that's where it's
Sure.
really liberating to be, you
You
know,
know,
to
I
get older.
it's funny. There is a window, isn't it? When I was 12 years old, I shaved the middle of my head just for laughs, and I let it grow out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had people drive by me and stop their cars and get out to take a picture of me because of how dumb I looked, and I loved it. But I would not do that today. I really wouldn't. Now I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh shit, my hair's getting thin,
Yeah.
when like I shaved it on purpose, 15 years ago. So it's funny. I'm in that part of life where I'm um, grappling a little bit with being a complete fucking goofball, but I want to be a goofball because I think it invites people in. I think it makes people not afraid of me, and more likely to open up to me. But I am certainly in a part of my life now where I'm taking things a little bit more seriously, and to be honest, it doesn't feel very good.
Well, you know, it's as you bring people in, like what the consequence was for me is I started having more people that I cared about or had to larger circles.
Yeah,
And then you have to evaluate what your responsibility is to different individuals. You can't be everything to everybody,
yeah,
right? You know,
yeah,
you got to do your life in like concentric circles, and you got to be in the middle because you know you got to be able to, like they say on the plane, you know, put your mask on yourself and then on the baby,
yeah,
because if it's the baby's not going to return the favor if you're passed out.
yeah,
So, you help yourself, and then, you tolerate like demands from your very, very intimates. And then as things get larger, as the circles get larger, you try to be helpful, service to people, or positive influence in their lives, but you can't do it, very
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
And I like to do it at least by like, yeah, by being sort of liberated, to let people know, like the most hurtful thing to me is when like a person doesn't like themselves. There might be all sorts of reasons, and they might, people go, you don't know, I'm right, you don't
Mm.
know me, I deserve this sort of punishment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're right. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't.
you said earlier you kind of have a problem with punishing people as far as like your anti-authoritarian attitude.
Yeah.
I also feel that way, but I find that it's kind of hard to. I wonder if you can relate to this. It's hard to find other people who, when I watch like a true crime show
Hmm.
or I hear about something, and when they catch the perpetrator, and the perpetrator gets sentenced to however many years in prison,
Yeah.
I don't have the thing where I think serves them right. Like I don't have that. I just think it's pure sad that now they
It
got to
is
go to
pure.
jail and
You're absolutely right.
yeah,
You're absolutely right. And it doesn't fix it. It's easier to think about it
yeah,
on smaller levels than crimes. Crimes is very, it's hard. I can't sit here and tell you like, oh, don't punish a murderer or something like that. But
right,
I
yes.
can I can definitely say that like it doesn't work for smaller offenses.
Like
Punishment will
prison.
make
What's
a thing
prison
right.
doing for anybody?
Well, even like holding people, like even letting somebody have it verbally or something, it doesn't make the situation, it doesn't correct things. If something
Yeah,
is really wrong, if there really is an injustice, then maybe it takes a little time and effort to right the thing. It's just so much easier to beat the dog than
mm,
to, make the situation where the dog doesn't get into the garbage, or you fix it or something. You
yeah,
think you fix it. Well, now that the dog's good and beaten, but that
right.
doesn't, it just makes you feel like you've done something. And
Mm,
that's what punishment is. Well, someone's been arrested for it. We're done.
yes, right, yes.
But
Something was
now,
done.
but now people do have a more sophisticated view of justice, and there's restorative justice. People realize that the story's not over. There's other junk going on,
Yeah, that's
and
true. That's
and
true.
it requires participation and effort, and not cynicism. You got to
Yeah,
really
again.
engage. You know, you just got to
Yeah,
know. Like, the key is just knowing. You got to know as many people as possible around. Make as many friends.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
otherwise they'll clump together in groups of shitty. All those shitty people will find one another.
This
That's what
brings me, uh, this in no way brings me to Square Dance Hall, but since we're maybe
oh,
coming up on the end of our time, I would
we
love to
need to
talk to you
segue.
about this.
Yes. Okay. It's actually a perfect segue because it's an example of what we're talking about.
You've been very productive with these videos, and we love them. I'm
Excellent.
curious, is this something that um, is this like a release for you? Is this something that occupies your mind throughout the day? What's your
I have
relationship to it?
I love music, and
Okay.
I am compelled to make it, and I don't want other people to ever have to suffer for it, and I don't want to have to suffer for it.
Sure.
And I like to do it on a smaller scale with low expectations, and I like to be done at the end of the day,
Yeah.
usually with something. I don't want to mistake this thing that gives me such joy, and that I've had an interest in for a long time. I don't want to mix that up with my purpose, or my identity, or my self-worth, or anything. I
Mm.
just, make it and do it, and it's done. And the doing is great fun. And if there's anything after that, somebody enjoys it, that's just a bonus. I mean,
Love
there's
that.
other things that I think I do for approval, but that's one of those things where I just, I see so many people tour, and especially this happens in music, and maybe because I know a lot of musicians, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of self-torture about
Mm.
who's listening and how successful they are, how good it is, and that kind of stuff. And man, there's not much you can do about how good you are or whether you really kind of suck, because if you really love a thing, there might be no dissuading you from doing it. But it also
Mm.
might not be a good idea to think you're great at it.
Yeah.
So, sometimes the best thing to do with an art that you love is just do it. Just put your head down, do it, and don't worry about it. And sometimes if you just do a thing long enough, even if it's weird and quirky, you get points for, you know, like duration or something. And go, man, that guy, you know what I mean? People, that guy's been writing the same weird comic for 50 years,
Oh, I
and it
love it.
gains some, it can't, it gains some value as a thing over time.
Yeah.
I've tried to do that with endeavors too. It's just like stick to it. Do that radio show. Who knows who's listening? I never know. People go, how many listeners do you have, Hardy? How would I know? There's not even a formula like, well, for every lunatic who, writes you a letter or something.
Right.
I'm not saying lunatics write letters, but I mean, there's no way, and I never know.
Yeah, that's how it is. I think if something is I have some friends in bands who are now really confronted with the statistics of their listenership day after day after day. They can go on Spotify and see how many people listen to their songs.
Right.
They can see which songs people listen to more than others. And they're not. I mean, I've been told too that it's not that's sort of the key to success right now is not going and touring and playing music for people and meeting
Mm.
people and having fun. It's getting put on someone's playlist that gets a lot of attention, and then that's how you get the thing. And it seems, and whether or not that's true, whether that actually is the way to success, it seems so sad.
It does seem sad, and you might not like success is one of those words that it might not mean the same. It's not a
Yeah,
universal.
great
You might
point.
be chasing something that isn't your success,
Right.
and and you go, "Wow, it's not something's not feeling right. Am I doing it wrong?" And
Yeah.
it might be that's just that you've got the wrong goal. This isn't what you really wanted,
Yeah.
and I mean, this is the thing. Like, let's say I get like, so the videos you're talking about,
Yeah.
they don't have a whole lot of views, but
No.
already, like, I met people through them. Isn't
Yeah.
that weird? Like, that's what I'm more concerned about is other artists and creative people or other people who have ideas, or like it's like a signal. And
Yeah.
so I might not draw just like, lots and lots of people who knows who they are anyway. Uh,
Right.
but like it's who you get to meet.
Yes,
Who.
that's when you see people represented as numbers, you really the scale is all off. I mean, if
Right.
some of your videos, some of the Square Dance Hall ones, okay, 200 views. And so on the scale of YouTube, that's low. But on the scale of people, if you got all of those people in a room, that's huge to me. I mean,
Right, right.
that's wild. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the first time I did anything to a decent size, just even 100 people, I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, man, this feels like a big room of people here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and there's certain just sizes that feel like that feels about right, like small church or something. Like
Yeah.
a good size, at least for what I do. If it was bigger, it'd be too small for an orchestra. But one guy talking, that feels nice, and I could sort of sense everybody in the room that way, and
Yes.
that's a nice feeling. And I'm also, I don't know, it's probably just I'm crazy or my neurology or something, but nothing. I mean, I feel like I'm a lighthearted person, but I also like everything seems really important to me,
Mm.
especially when people are, I guess, because I've already lost, like, I've had like listeners die or people or fans die already, like,
Yeah.
and that's like, it's freaky. They're there and then they're not.
Mm.
there, and then you realize like how important the like individual moments are.
They really
Just
are.
like they're how not disposable they are, and
Yeah.
that they can all be like fucking amazing. It has to do with intention.
Mm.
So, when we throw away moments, we get less of the great experiences. And
Yeah.
when we take them more seriously, and I think you can do it without driving yourself crazy. I just do it half-assed.
I mean,
You don't
yeah.
have to do it. You don't have to do it with perfection.
Mm.
Like, don't say seize the moment sounds like just try to seize the moment or seize-ish. You know what I mean?
Seize this.
Maybe a couple grabs at the moment. If you get it, you don't get it, whatever. There's
Oh,
no
that's beautiful.
obligation, but like just be there.
Yeah.
And
Oh wow, I really love this. Like take a few grabs at the moment. If you get it, that's great. If you don't, there's another one coming around.
there's one coming next, so there's no pressure.
I love that. I love that. I mean, you're
Yeah.
describing a very a tough balance to have where you're intentional about what you're doing, you show up, you
Mhm.
bring all that you got, but
Right.
some
Yeah.
days you are bringing less.
And you don't have to be yourself is a burden to some people. I know, and I've heard people say that. It's just like, I don't know who I am. You say, be myself. I like that sends my brain into a tizzy. I don't know who I am. So I just be. You don't
Yeah.
even have to, because who I am changes all the time anyway. I
Yeah.
don't know. Be
Yeah.
yourself. What do you want me to come up with a consistent character? Is that what you're really saying?
Mm.
Or do you just want me to be like that? I can do. But my identity is like something I'm thinking about all the time. And so,
Right.
who put what in my head?
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
mean it's tough to we I think we like consistency in other people because it feels safe. But really like true love, true compassion is being with someone when they're having a bad day,
yeah.
and
And
it's
then you feel that strength and you feel that that thing that you can do with other people.
yeah.
That where you can do that weird thing where you lift each other up and nobody's really doing the lifting. It's
Oh,
a
baby.
magical kind of elevating. It's
Beautiful.
really you really got to have it when you're grieving or there's really deep suffering. Other people can bring you just real. I've had it like if you I've embarrassingly had it with like medical professionals when somebody shows you real compassion or something and you get moved, and
Oh yeah.
maybe you've had a couple like drugs or something and you're like, oh, you're so nice. That feeling
Uh-huh.
of goofy grace or something. We're just like, you're so thankful for another
Yeah.
person's compassion that it can make things better, and we have that power for each other. We have it more for each other than we have it for ourselves sometimes, but you can't convince people. It's like if we would just use it, can't we just all use it on each other, we could get rid of some of the human made pain.
God, that's beautiful, man. That's so good. Um, well, it's been an hour.
Oh, that's fantastic. It was so nice to meet all
Oh,
your
dude,
friends too. I can't tell you.
buddy, that was
I,
amazing. Thank you for taking the time. It was great to meet you.
oh, I love it.
I hope we stay in touch in some degree.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. I'm always adamant about that. Lives cross for reasons, and I
yeah,
think they should usually, try to recross again, like a DNA helix.
let's cross the streams sometime soon, Hardy.
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, more later.
All right, later, Hardy. Well, fucking, how about that? Holy shit, what a nice guy. What a smart guy. What a beautiful guy. Fuck. Really good. Really good stuff. I hate to break your heart. I am there's a thing in Portland called the Pedal Palooza, and it's June through August. There's these group. Thank you so much for the kind words. Um, there's these group bike rides, and I do a lot of them. And tonight's the last one, and it starts in a half an hour. It's the last one for the year, not forever. So I'm gonna go do. Often they are nude. There's probably gonna be some nuders here, but I'm gonna go do this big bike ride. Fuck, man, that was making me tear up at the end, talking about how you lift each other up and nobody's doing the lifting, but you're both being lifted. Fuck, man, that's so good. Holy shit. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do a bike ride with some friends. A lot of love to all of you. Thanks for tuning in and on a regular day. Yeah, I hope you're all feeling good. I'm feeling good after that talk. I feel really good. And yeah, I'll see y'all soon.